So I've just watched the Nintendo Indie World Showcase, and I had a few thoughts, so I thought, why not just sit in front of the camera and just see what I thought about it. We did do a live reaction to this over on Twitch. Links down in the description if you want to check that out. Unfortunately, we had a few audio issues with that, so the first bit of the stream, this is why we're not posting it on YouTube, the first bit of the stream had no audio at all, and it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing, but we're back here with our reactions now. So really, there were a couple of highlights for me. First of all, I think the first game that was shown, Road 96. I know our good friend Dingram2909, who we were streaming with, he loved the look of this. I was similar. Like, we both agreed that the idea is really solid. The idea of a procedurally generated, really heavily story-based game where the story changes so much depending on which path you take, and there are so many different paths. It could be a special one. It could also just fall flat on its face, and I have no idea whereabouts it'll land right now, but we shall see. We shall see. But the art style looked interesting. I just wonder how it'll play out. But hopefully it's fun. Hopefully it works as well as it could. Then another highlight was Aerial Knight's Never Yield. It looked like a sort of hip-hop Endless Runner sort of thing. One of my reactions on Twitch was saying that Endless Runners are like a dime a dozen on consoles and on mobile, and they have to do something really, really special to stand out. Now, this game looks really, really stylish, first of all. The soundtrack speaks to me as a hip-hop fan. So hopefully, I don't know, maybe it's one that'll sort of break the mold of Endless Runners. Either way, looks promising for now. Then we have the two Annapurna games. Oh my goodness, Annapurna is back. So Annapurna made the excellent, the incredible What Remains of Edith Finch. And so to see two games from them, both coming this year, was quite a surprise. The first one, let's have a look at what the first one was called. The first one was Last Stop from Variable State and Annapurna Interactive. And this looks strange. So it's saying it's 3 entangled stories, but in one game. I really don't know how this will play out, but it does look super stylish. A little bit crazy. A little bit sci-fi-esque. So, who knows, could be a lot of fun. Hindsight looks like it sort of plays into the whole Edith Finch thing of a narrative within a narrative within a narrative. So it looks like you look into objects and see a whole new world and a new story in those objects. So you see like a leaf falling down, and then it zooms out into a whole new world. The trailer ends with a sort of with a key and the logo coming up when it zooms into that key. So I wonder how that'll work. It really leads into that Edith Finch thing. The visuals look a lot more stylized, which is always fun. And time is stopped in the trailer. Now, I don't know if that's important or not, or if that's just a trailer thing. But either way, I'm dying to play it, and I can't wait to play both of those. Ollie World. Ollie World looked great. Ollie World was the extension of that franchise that I didn't know I needed. You know, I really liked Ollie 1 and Ollie 2. I assumed they were done with the series after that, but it seems as though they're trying something new with Ollie World. So they had these sort of quarter pipe mechanics where you went up a ramp and then you went back down on the other side, so continued the level that way. But then they had branching paths. And then they had NPCs on some of those branching paths. So it looks like it's not just about getting the highest score this time around. There's a little bit of an exploration element. They said there were side quests. So I'm really excited to see what that ends up looking like. And the mechanics looked as solid as they always do, really. One thing that really hit me was the art style. And now the originals had this really unique 2D art style, and I'm not usually a fan when strictly 2D games go into this sort of 2D, 3D hybrid, but I feel like it really works here because of the branching paths and because everything does look like it fits together so well. We'll have to see how it looks in the end product, but yeah, I'm feeling this. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. As someone who's never played a TMNT game and really just doesn't know anything about the TMNT franchise, this looked solid. I love this new trend, and I guess it's not a new trend now because Shovel Knight kind of really popularized it. But making these 2D pixel art games that harken back to the 80s, to the 90s, but do things, you know, their animations and the color palettes and everything just couldn't be done with the technology back then. It's a really great mixing of styles. Sonic Mania did it excellently, Shovel Knight's been doing it wonderfully for a few years now, and TMNT just looks like the latest in that sort of trend. Pretty excited for that. And finally, the big one. Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals. Oh my god, was I never expecting a sequel to Oxenfree. Ever. Like, it's such a beautiful standalone game that tells such a mysterious story, but there's so much lore in that world that could be explored. And I've not played the game for years at this point. I'm planning to pick it up on stream for maybe a Storytime Sunday. What else can I say? The dialogue system in Oxenfree was wonderful, where you could like really sort of naturally interrupt each other rather than letting each other finish, which worked really surprisingly well. Like, if you didn't interrupt characters, you'd miss your chance to speak at all, which gave the conversations this sort of dynamic, realistic flow to them, which I really enjoyed. So yeah, there's my reaction to the Nintendo Indie World Showcase. I'll be playing through Oxenfree on stream at some point, so if you'd like to see that, the Twitch link is in the description. And hey, if you liked what you saw today, why not subscribe?